is not just a servant in 33 years of public service, particularly in the aviation sector, but also a visionary leader who has consistently demonstrated an unwavering commitment to his passion. With background and experience that nothing short of impressive, he has not only been an achiever, personal success, but has also been and contributed significantly to the institutionalization of the air passenger rights, the expansion of air linkages, and the liberalization of market areas. Throughout his career, he has exemplified the qualities of perseverance, zeal, and a thirst for knowledge, pushing the limits of what was previously considered to be possible and continuously motivating others to strive for greater heights in their own endeavors. He will speak on our theme on connectivity. The Executive Director of the Department of Transportation Civil Aeronautics Board. Let us listen to Attorney Carmelo Arcelia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. That is the kindest introduction I've ever had in my life. So, friends and colleagues in the air travel industry, in the aviation industry, the officers and members of the Tourism Congress of the Philippines, fellow public servants, esteemed guests, and ladies and gentlemen. Sec Jimmy Bautista, whom we call simply and fondly as Sec Jimmy, would have loved to be with you today, except that he has a mission in Europe. I know that he would want to be here because he always attends meetings, he doesn't miss out meetings if he can. He is in a mission to look for proponents in Europe that would partner with government in rehabilitating Ninoy Aquino International Airport. The NAIA has attained some kind of notoriety, which I think is really not deserved. Of course, it is bursting in the seams, but there have been improvements. It's operating beyond its design capacity of 32, 33 billion, operating at 45 billion. So, and so the mission of Secretary Jimmy is in line with the pronouncement of government to partner with private entities to improve the infrastructure and operational capability of the airport and privatize operation and management. So, congratulations to the Tourism Congress of the Philippines for a job well done. I've heard a lot about it and how it has become a vital component in our efforts to grow tourism. And it is very successful. Prior to COVID, we were doing very well. We were in some kind of a catching up mode. Of course, we have to admit that, we were hit hard by COVID, and now, with the efforts of the Department of Tourism, Department of Transportation, Tourism Council, we are on track to recovery. But then again, I would also admit that we still lag behind. We have to accept it. We lag behind our ASEAN neighbors. Vietnam has overtaken us just recently. And I'm not sure about it, but maybe it's not an apple to apples comparison, because I'm just guessing. The Philippines is the only pure archipelago in the ASEAN region. And all of these ASEAN countries, somehow they have a land connection with the Asian mainland. And they have land-borne tourists. Whereas the Philippines, more than 99% of our tourists are airborne, because the cruise ships, they're very limited in their capacity. Even then, we have to do a lot of catching up. And so, I have to admit again, without pointing the finger at anybody, that the system of governance in the Philippines is somehow not conducive to a timely implementation of programs and projects. We have to admit it. And so our hardworking president, our hardworking Secretary of Transportation are doing hard work and overtime to bridge the gap. And so, as we're speaking, at least 6 major projects are being completed for the expansion and improvement of airports. That includes, I think there are 6 of them, that includes Global, and Teying, and Bukidnon. That's worth 1.66 billion. There's a 1 trillion airport, regional airport package that is going to be implemented this year. So this administration is doing catch up, and we're happy that with the help of collaboration with the Tourism Council, I think we will be able to cover a lot of ground. So, Cebu, I'm very happy to be in Cebu always. It's like, even if it's a meeting that I attend, I feel like I'm on vacation. And Cebu is Western Visayas. They're the gems of Philippine tourism. And prior to COVID, they are really leading the pack, but we were set off track by COVID. But we are recovering. Even if we are lagging behind our neighbors, we will be there with all of you collaborating. Because, when I see consultative meetings like this is a signal of unity. When there is unity, there is strength. And the collaborative work, the teamwork, they always tend to achieve amazing results. And we can see it. We can see the results. And so, tourism is a major pillar of our economic strategy. I think prior to COVID, it is about the 3rd biggest dollar generator of our country. And many years ago, I read an article and it stuck in my mind. It says that tourism is a gift that does not stop giving. It is a gift that continues to give and give. And, indeed, tourism, in terms of its multiplier effect in the context of economics, is quite unparalleled. In terms of being able to generate economic activity, air transportation, land transportation, resorts, restaurants, shopping, maybe 1 million in the estimate of the part of tourism, 1.2 billion something, they benefit from the multiplier effect of tourism. So we cannot underestimate, of course, we cannot overemphasize the importance of tourism in our economic strategy. So I think I was asked to talk about air connectivity. Of course, air connectivity is the foundation of tourism, especially in an archipelagic country like ours. And without air connectivity, there's no tourism. So maybe I will provide a little insight on what air connectivity is, what are the components. Number one would be infrastructure. So slowly but surely, in fairness to the government in the past years, we were able to come up with world-class airports like Mactan, world-class airport like Clark. We have very good airports in Panglao and Puerto Princesa and many other destinations. So the infrastructure, not complete, but they're there. And number two, I will say, would be traffic rights. That's very important because the right of an airline to fly to the Philippines and the right of an airline from the Philippines to fly to another country is defined by a government-to-government agreement. But you know what we did years ago, maybe 15 years ago, we came up with a liberal program for airports outside of Manila. So Clark, Cebu, they were developed because of that liberal traffic program that allows foreign airlines to operate to the Philippines over and above the limits set by the pertinent air services agreements. So in fact, the local airlines were complaining during that time because we call it open skies agreement outside Manila. But the local airlines sometimes are not allowed by our partner countries to operate from Cebu to Kuala Lumpur, for example, when in fact we allow AirAsia to operate from KL, Kuala Lumpur to Clark or to Cebu. So we say, it's you are a second-class citizen if you are in an airline in the Philippines. Of course, we have to bite the bullet because that's a way of promoting the airport. So traffic rights, infrastructure, incentives. The government provides incentives to operators in terms of airport charges, in terms of charter fees, and a lot of incentives. And also, as I mentioned, it is also an incentive if you have unlimited traffic rights to operate to an airport. And then, lastly, the component of air connectivity. Ito, in-invento ko lang to. Inisip ko lang. I think the last component would be very important. That would be promotions. Because no amount of traffic rights, no amount of infrastructure will work unless we have something like the Tourism Congress of the Philippines that is collaborating with the Department of Transportation in order to promote our world-class destination. And I think we are on track in that regard. So, another insight that I would like to share about air connectivity is you have all the components. How come there's a dearth in services? I think one of the reasons would be the attitude of the airlines. We cannot blame the airlines. Airlines, especially legacy airlines, they gravitate towards the main airports of a country because of economic viability. If I'm an airline, my first instinct is to operate in Manila because there is a concentration of traffic in Manila. So the viability of my operations is assured. And then in terms of passenger profile, if you operate in Manila, you can have a higher business travel market. If you operate on a tourist destination, you will probably have almost leisure travelers. And a lot of the legacy airlines, they rely on business travel to recoup, to be able to break even. So that's the passenger profile is also a factor. So one factor is the airlines gravitate to the main gateways because gateways outside of Manila are, we call them developmental gateways, developmental airports. When you say developmental airports, we mean that these airports, it will take an airline years to invest and develop the market, and then after several years, it will probably ripen and become profitable, but when it's profitable, the competitors will come in. and sometimes too much competition will kill the book. No? So those are factors that sometimes make it difficult for services to thrive in secondary gateways. Another factor is the fact that in a deregulated environment, mind you, the regulation that engenders competition is key to the explosion in traffic that we experience in the Philippines. No? Because years ago, air travel is only for the elite. Now it is democratized. Everybody can travel because of competition. Competition exerts a downward pressure on fares and allows more and more people to travel. And if the airline flies with fuller planes, then the unit cost is lowered and they can reduce the fares. So competition is very important. But in an open regime, an airline has the liberty, prerogative to choose the routes that it wants to operate. So as I said, airlines gravitate to the main gateways, and even the passengers gravitate to the main gateways. You know why? Because if I'm a passenger, I will look at the internet. The main airports, they have a lot of options, a lot of airlines operating, a lot of schedules. I leave on Monday, I can come back any day. I go to a small airport, I leave on Monday, oh, there's no flight on Thursday, I cannot return on Thursday. So, passengers tend to gravitate to the main gateways. So, I think it's about promotion at the end of the day. So, we are practically twisting the arm of the airlines. Actually, I don't know if I should mention it here, but airlines from the Gulf states, they have been asking for more flights in Manila because they have a very strong hub in the Middle East. The Middle East happens to be the nexus of travel between the major markets of Asia and Europe. So they were able to, outperform the European airlines. They are not coming here anymore because of their efficiency. The hub and spoke system, very efficient. But, they keep on asking Manila because Manila is, there is a concentration of traffic, economically viable, but we said, no. You want Manila, you want to fly to Cebu. You want Manila, you want to fly to Davao, you want to fly to Clark. And so there are enough flights to Clark. Emirates Air flies to Cebu. So in so doing, we have opened up Cebu to the major markets of the world. Cebu is connected to the world. For example, Emirates Air is connected to 131 countries. So we had air talks with Turkey, maybe not very long ago this year. We had talks with them. They want more flights in Manila. We said, no flights in Manila. You want flights in Manila, you fly to Cebu. So they're forcing the issue on there. So this is what we're doing. So we are part of that will, part of that effort, and let's continue to hold hands and collaborate. I'm happy that I was invited here, that Jamie was invited. At least I could share some insights because, as I said, teamwork and collaboration, they achieve amazing things. So with that, mahaba na congratulations to the Tourism Congress of the Philippines. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you very much, President Bob would like to present